Hello, hello, hello. We are back. How is everyone doing out there? Glad to see you all. Sure, take your time, science. Getting back. New left equals melanated and friends. Exactly. That's what people are not understanding. Uh, we can speak for ourselves very well. So let us have that platform to be able to do that. Speaking of giving platforms to do that, what was it, Reefer After Dark, he just put out about um his what was it, Steph read out his comment or super chat, I'm not sure, or super ray, I'm not sure what platform it was on, but him giving a shout out to Sabby, um and it got read out on the Jimmy Dore show. So hopefully we can get to see Sabby over there on the Jimmy Dore show. Got a couple of videos here for you guys to start it off. Hey Jay, are you there?
Right here.
All righty, yes sir. Yes, we do have a double feature. I decided, especially when I only have two topics, and I want to spend the time, really going into it. I'll just go on ahead and split them in half at the beginning. It makes it easier instead of going back and having to edit them. So figured I'll do it this way, give you guys, a little bit more to focus on, and also on this one we will have time to just dig straight in on this specific title. Sabi was on Jimmy Dore today. Yeah, I'm not sure what was she on there. I have to go back and go and check that Jimmy Dore. I just saw the comment being read out, so that's good if she was. I believe Nick has been on there a time or two, so that's good. Anybody who's able to get onto those larger platforms, and any of those larger platforms which will give us the opportunity to be there. Uh, I am, especially on this channel, I'm reaching out to a couple of larger platforms and trying to get them on for interviews. So I don't know if you guys have seen my interviews slash conversations, which I have. Hopefully, you guys enjoy it. Um, enjoy that style. I know I have an interview coming up. I want to say the 15th of May that I think a lot of you guys might enjoy. I will have a doctor and professor out of South Africa to talk a lot of things, but relationships between Africa and Russia, and the history of a lot of different things, and talking about some things in South Africa. We'll talk a little bit about some of my experiences, some of his experiences. So it should be a lot of fun. Kelly says here, CNBC said that Elon and Twitter can back out of the deal, but will cost them $1 billion. Do you think the deal is going to go through by October? I definitely believe the deal is going to go through. Um, if you pay attention to some of his tweets, just like I did in that how I left in the thumbnail, he has been very disappointed and upset with a lot of the things which have went on as far as the censorship, especially with it. And I figured best thing says South Africa was the first country I went to alone. Oh, cool. You
Oh,
have to talk and figure out how. I want to hear how it was, because I only got into probably the tip of Africa. I never got deep into the country, or got to really even enjoy it when I was there. So um, just barely stepped my foot on the pavement or on the dirt, and was able to and walking right back out. So anybody who's gotten to go to Africa, I definitely want to hear their stories. You're going to say something, Jay?
nah, I just think Africa's dope. Actually, a cousin, he travels to Africa all the time and takes vacation there. So, he says it was a beautiful thing to see. He's glad he's got to witness it in his lifetime.
Oh wow! Says I went to my first protest actually there. Cool.
That's dope.
Um, John says, questions about religion. Watch some of your older takes. May join in. Good. Yeah. Make sure to
Extra
come and
homework
check us out.
too.
Yeah, and I always ask anybody any any questions you have, any kind of commentary. Yes, it's definitely welcome. For those who know me, I do like to talk religion. It is a very, I guess I'll say religion for lack of better words to say. A lot of times I say faith, but it is a big part of what animates me. and a lot of how I view the world. And for those who don't know, I am a deep Bible believer. And the reason why is because I believe that I can see the prophecies that it talks about in the Bible manifesting. And if you're able to tell me something that's going to happen thousands of years into the future, and I'm able to see that, that trumps any of the arguments people say, or, well, how do you know if it's tempered? And how do you know this? And how do you know that? Because I'm able to see the results of what it talked about. Now, it says, he who has a ear, let him hear. So if you have the ear, you have the eyes, to see, and the ears to hear, then I believe you'll see the message. But if not, that's just what that is. So let me cue up this first clip. I believe I'm not sure if I'm gonna go live tomorrow on Hebrew Apologetics, but I probably will. We're gonna be talking about, if we do, we're gonna be talking about a very interesting survey that I think people should know about. It's something that really shocked me to find out about, and who was behind this survey, and some of the questions being asked in this survey raised the eyebrow from me. So even if you're religious or not religious, just finding out some of the stuff that it's talking about in this survey, and who paid for this survey, and the connections to the people who are involved in this survey, I think it's pretty interesting. So that's what I'll be talking about if I do go live tomorrow on Hebrew Apologetics, which more than likely I plan to. But this first clip that I want to share, I'm granted it's from a right-wing source, but and that's neither here nor there. That's not as important when you're just watching the clips. Once it gets into their take, I will not care about their takes, so we can skip past it. Good, John. I'll look forward to seeing you in there. I mean, I always tell people the more the merrier. Anybody has questions, you don't have to necessarily even be a believer to come in there. I just enjoy your questions. Oh, wow. I guess it's pulling up some interesting stuff that I've looked up, apparently. Oh, that's my news to cover. So let's go large and play.
Return to Twitter after Elon Musk's purchase, his $44 billion purchase of the social media site. Trump saying that Musk Twitter takeover would be a positive development, but he will stay with his own platform, Truth Social, which I was talking with you about earlier. A lot of you are writing me on this, and I'm going to get to your responses here soon. But Truth Social formally launched last month and has been up and running under its brand new cloud services for the past 4 days. In fact, Truth CEO Devin Nunes is going to join us later this week to discuss this new platform.
If you get invited to something where there are no rules, where there is total freedom for everybody, do you actually want to go to that party?
Misinformation and disinformation could be amplified considerably. So the reality of an Elon Musk-owned Twitter is that a number of these bad actors could run rampant across the social network.
I don't trust Elon Musk to make Twitter better for women at all. If you're asking yourself if this is someone that's going to go to bat for people that are underrepresented, I just don't think that's going to be the case.
You don't even have to be transparent. You could secretly ban one party's candidate or all of its candidates, all of its nominees, or you could just secretly turn down the reach of their stuff and turn up the reach of something else.
Members of the media with mixed reaction over Elon Musk's $44 billion purchase of Twitter. Cable news pundits warning about
Marcus, you're muted.
Oh, sorry about that. Muted again. I had a lot of background noise, so I muted occasionally. I miss Drum's bombastic tweets. Yes. I mean, I feel like all of them should be able to be on there. If I, as a veteran, can watch, a fellow innocent trooper soldier who's killed in combat. I mean, who's just over there, wasn't even actually doing anything combat wise, and they get killed, and then have to sit back while this one church blasts them and say they're all dying because of America approved homosexuality, and I can't say anything back to those people. And but part of why you supposedly fight in the military is so that everybody can be able to have their voice and their freedoms. So we went from that to now we're scared to let anybody talk about anything. So I mean, I wanted to go back into that and watch it from the beginning because I had some critiques on some of the stuff that I wanted to say. So let me stop. I'll play it and then stop it where I feel I wanted to
From
add.
Truth Social, which I was talking with you about earlier. A lot of you are writing me on this.
Which Trump definitely is not coming back. He makes too much money, and he would be kind of almost putting a death nail in his own site, which he literally profits from, to come back to Twitter, which I wouldn't do it either if I had my own platform.
This, and I'm going to get to your responses here soon. But Truth Social formally launched last month and has been up and running under its brand new cloud services for the past 4 days. In fact, Truth CEO Devin Nunes is going to join us later this week to discuss this new platform.
If you get invited to something where there are no rules, where there is total freedom for everybody, do you actually want to go to that party?
This is a guy you never want to go to a party with. that's what I'll say. You don't want to go to a party with this guy when he's like, but you want to go to a party with no. I mean, think about it. When you were in high school, did anybody go to a party where they had rules? I mean, maybe you were told not to invite this person or that person, but once you were there at the party, you were there at the party. I mean, so this guy already, stick in the mud. And I'm not sure who hit on this point, because somebody did hit on this point. I think it might have been Kim Iverson, but she hit on this point also. And I'm like, yeah, I wouldn't want to go to your lame ass party.
Misinformation and disinformation could be amplified considerably.
Misinformation and disinformation already is being amplified. It already is. You can't literally talk about anything. Misinformation. What about Hunter Biden's laptop? What about when they said definitely there's no possible way that the lab leak is a plausible theory? That's misinformation. And we won't even get all the way into the corona COVID-19 stuff. We won't even get into the levels of misinformation that are going on with that. We won't get into January 6th, how you literally watch, there's clips where they're talking to the people, the guards who are their Capitol Police are talking to the people and literally walking out of the way and walking them up to the door and letting them walk inside, where everybody thinks it's this horrible thing, January 6th, and all this craziness. They act as if it was like a second 9/11 or something.
Another thing, Marcus, is like misinformation, disinformation, fake deep, whatever they want to call it. It's never going away. And it's like, okay, Elon Musk owns Twitter. The same thing's gonna happen on Meta, Instagram, Reddit, everywhere. So you can't avoid it no matter who buys it. It's just a monopoly game. But the actually interesting thing about this whole thing is he took on a debt. Like, what he has to make back for what he had to for what he had to pay to buy Twitter, the numbers actually don't work out in his favor. So I think there may be an underlying reason why he wants Twitter.
Oh, definitely. And we'll get to that underlining
loss.
Yeah, I mean, and he said it from some of his tweets alone. He said some of the issues that he's had with Twitter. He said that he didn't like how Trump was taken off, which that's a lot of people freak out and think, oh, well, that's what's going to happen. He's going to bring Trump back. No, he's not bringing Trump back, but he's saying that he should have the ability to be on if he chose to be on, which I don't have a problem with that, because what that tells me is when you can cancel the president of the United States when you don't agree with him, what can you do to me? And what we've seen happen with numerous accounts, anybody who's questioned the COVID-19 narrative, counts nuked completely. And the thing about it is, when it's 6 months, a year later, and the information comes out that you were actually correct and they were wrong, they don't restore your accounts.
Nope.
You stay gone. I mean, literally, one of these things I believe on Facebook, they literally actually canceled a video by Dr. Fauci when Dr. Fauci is going against stuff which Dr. Fauci said himself. And that's what shows you that there is no consistency with any of the logic that's currently going on. And yes, by the way, that is the same guy who got schooled by a Republican college kid. Oh, do you want to say something?
Yeah, they just all this misinformation's been a thing. They were doing it before social media. You had 9/11. You had there's so many different things. The bombings in Philadelphia that they never talk about. Do they ever tell the truth about these things? No.
No. Let's see. I got one other. I got a couple of things which I'm like pulling up at the time being. Hold on. But let's hop back into it and some more commentary on some of the things which this guy is saying here. Pushback.
So the reality of an Elon Musk-owned Twitter is that a number of these bad actors could run rampant across.
The bad actors are the mainstream media, and they are already running rampant. That's the problem. That's the reason why one of the reasons why he's getting involved. Trust me, we're gonna get to it. I like my colleague, Franco from Frank Analysis and Jason Burmis. I agree with some of the takes which they brought up the other day, and we're going to get to that video and we're going to talk about some of those takes, but let's let it continue a little more. I figure we'll get all this stuff out of the way. We'll get all their whining and their complaints, and then we're going to get. I got a couple of videos to show to add context to all of this stuff that we're gonna talk about.
The social network.
I don't trust Elon Musk to make Twitter better for women.
Is Twitter's job? Is Elon's job to make Twitter better for women? Is it Elon's job to make Twitter better for Black people or gay people? It's nobody's job to make Twitter better for anybody. It is just for you to speak. You defend yourself with your own words. It's not for the people who run the platform to make it better for you and for you to be able to say whatever you want without pushback.
You know what's funny? These people are saying he's going to do this and control this, but then you want said rules, but then are accusing someone of doing those things. So what do you mean?
Yeah, I mean, John here said, oh, sorry, you're still talking, sorry.
Yeah, so for instance, Twitter is safe for women. When was Twitter ever made to be safe for women? What were these social media? These social media apps were made to connect with other people and share dumb things over the internet until the beast came along, and then it became about monetization, advertisements, and money, and marketing, and digitizing everything. That's when everything changed.
That's part of what started happening. The same thing with YouTube. Once it got into worrying about what the advertisers think more than what the people who were creating content and the viewers thought, that's when all of this censorship started ratcheting up even more. John here says all these crazy takes people have about rich guy buying another rich guy's property. Trump can do whatever with his platform, won't affect us. Others say platforms rising. Hopefully there's more. I mean, because if there was an equivalent that I could go to where you could still get your voice out to millions of people, potentially millions of people, and I didn't have to deal with the bullshit that we deal with on Twitter, I would have left it long time ago. But Twitter has gotten to the point where it literally, if you want to get out your perspective and on political topics, you almost need to be on Twitter. There's not like another place that you can actually go. Warren says, I thought people threatening to leave Twitter and going to get her was hysterical. No, there are people who that's what they do. Michael J. Fox. Funny. Let's see. Yeah, Getter, you'll get kicked off. Getter is just like the Republican version of Twitter. That's all it is. As for women, for who? For Elon. Yeah, his platform. I mean, think about who's controlling it right now. You literally got BlackRock, Vanguard, Saudi billionaires. That's who's controlling it right now. But nobody seems to have a problem with that. I mean, I've heard other people bring up the point. Did anybody complain like this when Jeff Bezos bought the Washington Post? Anybody complain like this when they allowed Michael Bloomberg to create, Bloomberg News? But for some reason, this guy, and I know why, because they're worried that if he's even slightly right wing in any kind of way, then he's coming for the liberals. Because that's what this is. Liberals are perfectly fine with censorship on others, but when it looks like that censorship might come back around, or they can't censor or cancel people, because that's what it is. A lot of these people are authoritarians. They want to say what they have to say, but you cannot say what you have to say. I see Independent Left News wanted to drop in and say, hey, but INN News is live. Yeah, I understand. You can always come back and catch us later, but appreciate you for dropping through, brother. Says, I will check out the replay, and everyone hit the like for our brothers. Yes, hit the like. Oh, I forgot to get the banner going, didn't I? Let me get the banner going so it will remind everyone. Twitter sure made Sally Albright's life better by letting her have 28 accounts to push Dems on us. Exactly. I had 3 of her accounts following me, so I definitely know. And that's one of the things which Elon Musk talked about, getting rid of all these bot accounts. The Democratic Party is full of bot accounts, and they push these accounts to push down dissent. They don't want to hear, even though I don't feel third party is even that effective of a way of going. They don't even want you to even speak about going to third parties. They don't want you to call out election fraud, just like MCSC was doing. That's something that, I don't feel like any channel has called out the election fraud. And I'm not talking about that Biden is not a legitimate president. Don't try to come after me, YouTube. I'm talking about election integrity, about making sure that
But Marcus,
this box of votes are getting to this point or that point. Well,
but the
we got
funny thing is, both sides cheat, and then when one cheats, when one gets caught cheating, they want to throw the rocks. But
well, that's what it is. This is just a partisan thing. They are trying to control it on their side, and they don't want it at all to be. Look at it like this: Republicans are kicking ass as far as the gerrymander. They got that mostly on lock. The liberal areas like a Pelosi district, they have their levels of gerrymandering, but the left has found a way to monopolize most of these platforms, and they don't want any of that taken away. And when I say left, I'm talking about corporate left, which basically is neoliberals. There is no actual true left party that exists in any actual. The actual only leftists are those of us on social media and those who are creating content. There's no real actual left as far as a party in this country. Distraction from weapons being sent. Well, that's what that Johnny Depp stuff is. I guarantee you that's what that's about. They know it's a little bit slower right now. How can we deflect away from what's going on with Russia? But also, I think that it would be pertinent to talk about the fact of Putin said, if you guys keep sending weapons over there, shit is about to escalate in unsaid words. He said, don't do that shit anymore, or you're going to see what's going to happen. And the U.S. is like that thumbnail that I had. They don't give a damn. They're basically saying, fuck you. You ain't going to do shit. We're going to keep doing whatever the fuck we want to. And that's what's going to lead to escalation. which all these people say that they're not trying to do, but their actions are doing nothing but escalating the situation. Or as I hear some people say, trying to fight the war down to the last Ukrainian. Because make no mistake, there is no way Ukraine has ability to win this war. That's the reason why we keep finding more and more foreign troops, just like I just reported on about the two British POWs. Now I just heard about Russia releasing an American also. So for all those thinking the Ukrainians are doing all this great fighting, no, it's a lot of foreign soldiers coming in, propping them up. I wouldn't be surprised if we had actual NATO soldiers in there fighting also along the Ukrainians, propping them up also. Which I got the feeling only a matter of time before that information starts to come out too.
At all. If you're asking yourself if this is someone that's going to go to bat for people that are underrepresented, I just don't think that's going to be the case.
You don't even have to be transparent. You could secretly ban one party's candidate.
Are they not already doing that, Ari? The side you support is already doing everything you say. This right here is nothing but projection.
Or all of its candidates, all of its nominees, or you could just secretly turn down the.
Did the media not literally catch MSNBC doing that to Bernie Sanders? Now, do I think Bernie is a sheep herder? Hell yeah. But they still did this.
The reach of their stuff and turn up the reach of something else. And
Members of the media with mixed.
And they talk about the reach of their stuff. You guys literally already do it to my platform alone. All of my social media accounts. It makes no sense that somebody who have 300 people following them will literally have 100, 200 likes on damn near every tweet. And one of my accounts is a little bit under 3,000. The other one is plus a couple hundred over 3,000, but yet I'm only able to muster 3 or 4 likes. And then when I look at the interaction on each tweet will be something like 30 people, 40 people. That lets me know you guys are already turning down the influence of certain people. So let's not play this game about, well, what Elon's going to do. This is what is already being done on this platform. Already being done on Twitter. The thing about it is, when it might have the possibility to happen to people like Ari Melber or Sean King, or the fact that even if it just gets balanced off, that so now that people can actually push back against you guys, you don't want that. That's what you're scared of. Let's see. I'll invest. I'm down for that. I don't know what you guys are talking about. Probably some craziness. Oh Lord, sex bots. Oh goodness. Jay, do you have any thing you'd like to add?
I'm in agreement with you. You know, all this stuff is just, they do it themselves. So it's just like, even when they just caught Hillary and them, when Trump wasn't doing the thing they accused him of. So, Todd, the same thing, they removed him off the app. They removed him off the app. So you're telling me they can't remove anybody else off the app?
Well, anybody that, even still right now, even on the platform we're on. And that's the reason why people like Elon Musk is going in and trying to do something on Twitter. On this, if you say anything the wrong way on this platform, the level of censorship and control is the same as what you face on Twitter. I actually, you know what? Let me correct myself. It's far worse on here. It is far worse on YouTube, the level of censorship than what's on Twitter. That's part of why one of my accounts, I can't even go under podcaster status because I've had too many suspensions. I wanted to, let's add a little bit of comedy into this for a moment. I want to add a little bit of comedy to this. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Crank Lucas.
Oh, I know him. He's the one who does all that the rap videos where he makes fun of each generation.
I agree. John says I'm expecting them to censor these chats at some point. They already do. Not some of the people who try to get in, they don't let their messages get through. And then sometimes, literally, when they comment, I can't even read comments that people are writing to me, and they'll think, "Well, why are you ignoring my comment? Or did you're blocking it or hiding it?" No, they block it and hide it. YouTube does that on its own without even allowing me to read some of this stuff.
Marcus, they're not the only ones that do that. Sony chats are monitored. Like at some point when I think I was 17, everybody was on, no, I was 15 at the time when everybody started playing Fortnite. And that's when they released that the PlayStation 4 party chats will be monitored. People rage on video games. Oh my God, I'm gonna kill your mother, blow up your house. You just shot me. That's how people talk. And then people were getting kicked from PlayStation parties because Sony had people listening in. So this is happening in every avenue.
Well, yeah, and they've always been doing it on there. Put Law's comment on there, the one to John.
I don't post a comment?
Yeah, we'll put it up on the screen. Oh, that's right. You're not logged in, are you?
Yeah, no.
Okay, hold on.
You know what? I'm logging in after the show.
Yeah, you're gonna start logging in.
I'm slacking. I have been slacking.
Mm-hmm. It says, well, at John Kemper, remember at the start of COVID, all the big media websites turned off their comments. It's the same as if you try to do anything on a lot of the World Economic Forum or Davos, or you go into the wrong CNBC or Forbes article, they keep you from being able to comment back. Variant says, the view of my phone is business up top with Marcus and Jay, and pleasure bottom. I don't know what that's about. Probably should have pre-read that first. I don't know what y'all talking about. Oh Lordy jeez. Let me get that clip up here. So this is, for those who hadn't saw this, I wanted to just show this because this is what I feel like a lot of times with damn near everything is going on. Let's have a little bit of fun real quick.
I don't give a fuck. Yeah. Hold up. Y'all niggas want that drama. I pull up and I'ma be quick. Treat you like you got asthma. Spray you with the pump like Palmatine Miss. 1 shot, 2 shot, 3 shots. I'ma send bullets all day. Word on the street, you a fuck nigga. And your girl said you gay. Hey, I don't think you want to say that. Why not? Because the LGBTQ UNITY community may get offended. And me calling him gay, nothing wrong with being gay. Yeah, but you should take it out just to be on the safe side. Alright, fuck it. Whipping up a pie in the kitchen. Yum, yum. Just another day doing business. Had to cut a nigga hand off because his count kept coming up short like a midget. Yo, you can't say midget. The term is little people. But that shit don't even rhyme. Yeah, well, if you don't change it, they gonna come fuck your shins up. Come on, bro, this shit is retarded. Oh yeah, you can't say the R word either. Why not? The term is intellectually disabled. I smoke too much weed to intellectually pronounce that shit. Just don't offend gay people, little people, or people with mental disabilities. Alright. Heard y'all niggas got problems. I heard my revolver is a problem solver. Yup. Nigga fuck a trip to the ER. 1 shot, send your ass to the altar. God bless. Nigga, I hop in the car for you. Nigga, I pull up the squad for you. Hey. Heard one of you fuck niggas got beef. Well, nigga, let's have a barbecue. Yeah, that was offensive too. Oh my God, to who? To vegans. To vegans? Yeah, you talking about beef. Matter of fact, Peter might have a problem with it as well. I can't say shit, Mo. I just don't want you to get sued. Man, fuck that. Let them sue me. I ain't got shit for $13. You better get right with God. Right. You better go and get saved. Jesus, King of all kings. God is the light in the way. What, bruh? What? I done switched the whole song to a gospel song. Who gonna get offended? Don't say Christians. Nah, but the other religions might get offended. Dude. Especially atheists. Bruh, you telling me the whole world is that sensitive? Man, have you seen the news in like the last 2 years at all? Can't offend anybody. Man, it's some bullshit. I'm a black man. I'm the most offended creature on this planet, but I gotta be careful about what I say to everybody else. Look, just make a happy song that doesn't offend anyone, okay? A happy song that doesn't offend anyone.
All right, let's see what he's coming up with.
Fuck it. Ice cream, ice cream, ice cream. Yeah, nigga, I like ice cream. Ice cream, ice cream. I be with a whole lot of ice cream. Cause nigga, I'm getting that cake. Nigga, I'm getting that cake. Carvel. Nigga, I'm getting that cake. Birthday. Ice cream with the cake. That's not gonna work. God damn it, why not? Who gonna sue me? Fat people? I'm fat. Nah, I think McDonald's gonna sue you because their ice cream machine never works.
And on top of that, in all honesty, a lot of black people, they'll be like, well, he kept using the N-word. He used the N-word too much, so that's not gonna go either. That's the thing. We live in such a thin-skinned, sensitive as, weak as society these days, where everybody is freaking offended over every damn thing. Oh yeah, Crank looked like somebody dug up Brickton. Oh, y'all got to check out that dude. Is so talented. But when I saw that, I was like, oh, this is perfect. Yeah, sensitive era. I mean, I can't even really say what I would want to call these people. Yeah, the N-word died in 2007 when civil rights leader had a funeral. I mean, that's the thing. And then I had people that were like, well, you can't say. Okay. I said, so what about black people? Well, no, I'm African American. I'm like, well, what if I don't want to use the term African American? Not with that sensitive. Everybody is sensitive about every damn thing. And some of y'all need to learn to quit taking yourself so damn serious. I noticed Tina's in the chat. Hey, Tina, glad to see you. But that's the thing. Everybody's so fucking sensitive about every damn thing. And now I just offended the people who can't stand curse words. Or that's not even technically curse. We'll say cuss.
I'm offending. I'm offending a Crip right now because my do-rag's red.
Exactly. I'm offending people because I'm wearing glasses. So the people who struggle to see and need glasses, I'm offending them because I'm privileged to have glasses and they don't.
Or if you joke about a mental disorder, it's like, oh, that's disrespectful to the people that go through it. Like
you're tackling what is it, ableist? Is that what they said it is?
I think so. But it's like no one's attacking you. It's just a joke. Obviously, shout out to those who struggle with it. Everybody's damaged goods in some kind of way.
Exactly.
That's why it's funny.
That's why I gave the hell up on even thinking about doing any comedy. I mean, if I told y'all some of the shit that was in like some of the comedy like stand-up that I thought about doing, oh my god, man. Well, Chris knows. I say some wild ass shit. But I can't say it in this Mickey Mouse, softer than Charmin generation.
Softer than Twink villain, playing villain.
I mean, frustrating. I mean, like I remember I literally listened to somebody say, yes, I think it's all right that Will Smith got up there and slapped the shit out of Chris Rock. And then turned around and say, you shouldn't pick on anybody's disabilities. You advocating for violence, but you can't deal with somebody saying words to you. Do you not get how fucking off that shit is? How backwards you already are? But that's these same people, a lot of these people with the bringing it back to the whole Twitter thing. That's the issue with a lot of these people. They want to get on and say whatever the hell they feel with no pushback. I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one here, but we grew up in the era where you had to learn how to take a damn joke. Everybody did your mama jokes back in the day. And it wasn't just randomly your mama's so fat and they don't know your mom's fat. A lot of times they knew your mom was overweight or disabled or whatever, and they added that into the insult. But you had to learn how to deal with it and learn how to push back. Whew. Variant said Marcus off air is like the reporter who was caught on a hot mic after blood flew in his mouth.
Word.
What? I'm not that bad, am
I? If it really gets you going.
Oh, you talking about they get me going? Oh, let's see if I can click on it. Dang, that's right. I'm not on my. I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to do it.
Here, I got you.
Yeah, pull it up. I want to see that. That'll be funny.
Okay.
That'll be funny. That way you guys can hear what I'm like off cam without me saying it on cam. Wink, wink. Nice one, Science. I mean, laws. I don't know why I keep saying I'm reading science right up under laws. Never fly through salt lake going in or out. And like you got to remember, I was in the Navy too. You know the kind of jokes which Navy guys talk about. That crypto and Hillary Clinton's face in the debate. Yeah, find that real quick, Jay. I want to see it. How bad is it? In the meantime, I'll show you. Of course, this guy's some right winger, but he went out asking some people like their opinions on this, and of course, this is before Elon Musk had This is before Elon Musk. Oh wait, there it is, Jay. Let's see. Going ahead.
What really happened on that day here at Augusta High School that led to Chris Wood's death?
The fuck is that? Shit! I'm dying in this fucking country ass fucked up town. Shit flying in my mouth. The fuck? I can't see pollen. Let's get the fuck out this country, motherfucker. I can't see me.
Yeah, that's me off camera. Yeah, that is me off camera. You gotta remember too, I grew up in the hood. I didn't grow up around all these these butter made people. I mean, I didn't grow up around, we need to go to our safe place. I grew up where, okay, you say the wrong thing, just be prepared to use them hands. If you can't use them hands, then shut your damn mouth. And
now,
then
my era is definitely kids whose parents probably didn't smack them up times.
my mom smacked me up. My mom, if I came home, my mom like, get in the car. Where we going? You going back to go fight him? What? No. You don't run from no fight. Get your ass back out there and stand up and fight for yourself. Y'all think I'm playing?
Marcus, right? You better not come home and say you lost.
You better go back and fight his ass. I mean, you could lose the fight, but you better not have ran. You better not have ran.
My father,
don't duck no fades.
My parents always said, "Don't start it, but finish it."
Mm-hmm. You don't duck no fades. Mom's like, I ain't raised my boys to be. My mom taught us also, to cook, clean, take care of ourselves, so we don't have to depend on a woman. Not for us to be domesticated.
Wow, your mama's so fat they wouldn't let her wear Malcolm X jackets because helicopters kept trying to land on them.
That's some old school right there. That's some old school right there. Like I remember one, it was like, your mama's so skinny, she hula hoop with a Cheerio. I mean, there's so many of them from Chicago to Army. I talk like unholy Rome. Fuck it. Yeah, hey. I mean, John know. He former Army. He know how it go down. Your mama's so fat when she fell in love, she broke it. Ooh, damn.
And
Yeah, I remember that Yo Mama show on MTV.
Your mother's so
Yep.
big, she rolled over $1 and made 4 quarters.
Remember that? This one's from a movie. This one's from a movie, though. Tell me. In fact, let's see how good y'all are. Tell me if y'all can remember the movie. He's like, Yo Mama's so fat. Bitch, get a group discount at Sizzlers. I know Mr. Cy Lawson know that one. I know he know that one. Shadow Band says, I'll leave y'all alone for half a minute and y'all's doing your mama's McKenna at a time. You know, we have a little bit of fun. Like, I mean, if I had a platform, y'all don't want to know how bad it was. Nope, not Bebe's kids. Shout out to the great Robin Harris.
That's what my mother used to say. If we went outside, like clothes wrinkled or bummy, you look like Bebe kid.
That's a shout out to Robin Harris. Is actually from, believe it or not, it's Dave Chappelle. Goes back to Nutty Professor. So I bet when they cut him open, he bleeds Rocky Road. Let's see, what was it? Which one of these was it? Man, I do not remember. I've opened up so many tabs. Yeah, nope, that's not the one. Where is the tab I'm looking for? Or did I close it? Let's see. Hold on 1 second. Bear with me 1 second. Let's see what I did with the. Oh, there it is. What is that? Oh, that's what it is. Sorry, didn't remember what it was called, the one I was supposed to click on. But share. All right, and here's some street interviews. Some people asking, Yo mama's so fat when she sat around the house. She sat around the house. I'm all jealous of young Lawson. Look at him. Yo, yeah, all that youth, sparkling, shiny teeth. Ain't he pretty? He's so pretty.
Individuals that are still on the platform?
I think for our country, Trump is the greatest threat that exists for our country. Still. Yeah.
Is the possibility of Elon Musk buying Twitter?
Oh, shit. Sorry.
You think that's a good thing or a bad thing? What do you think?
Haven't read much into it.
Okay.
But I think anything that he touches equals freedom.
It's crazy. Okay. It's insane. It's very stupid, and it's not in the best interest of anybody who uses Twitter. He's just doing it to feed his ego.
What do you think?
Well, I'll second that. I don't know what his qualifications might be for buying Twitter, for owning Twitter.
His qualifications for owning something?
Freedom of speech. I think he could make a big difference, but I think he's going to.
Wow. That the level of shit lab that you are. Hold on a second. Got something playing in the background. The level of shit lab that you are, that you really literally think that Trump is the most dangerous thing in this country. That level of disconnect. That level of disconnect. That you really think Trump is that dangerous. Also, talking about the qualifications. What qualifications do you need to buy anything? That's just stupid logic these people have. But
look at what he's wearing, Marcus. What do you expect?
Going to get pushed out of it for sure. I'm all for it. You know, he's an entrepreneur. He's intelligent.
He's looking to purchase Twitter. He made an offer that's well over what the company's valued at.
Right.
And he wants to restore free speech on the platform. Obviously, Twitter is a major, flow of information when it comes to American media. Right. That's the reason why he wants to buy it. And that's funny that you said that because you didn't know that.
I didn't know.
One of the reasons. I believe his actual real reasons are not quite being stated. But we're gonna talk about some theories into that though.
But yeah, I would say anything that Elon Musk does, he just wants to not conform to govern society, and he thinks that maybe people should just have the right of way when they have the right mindset, and people should be able to speak freely.
So basically, the reason why he's looking to purchase Twitter is because he believes censorship is a problem on the platform. Do you guys agree with that or no?
Well, I think he doesn't like censorship when it goes against his views.
Okay.
I think when censorship supports his views, then he likes censorship. So
How everyone is that how everyone is? I mean, do we?
Which he's not entirely wrong there. I mean, Elon Musk did like literally like pay a kid like 50,000 or something to delete a tweet, and or he was trying to pay this kid to not like keep following him. So, but you're going to get that with any of the billionaires. You don't think that the Saudi billionaires who are involved in this are not censoring any of the negative shit that comes that you guys say about Saudi? I mean, you don't think Vanguard and BlackRock are censoring some shit? You don't think that any negative shit about is the reason why don't we hear any negative shit about Google?
that's legitimate. Yeah, I think people are like that. I think
Yeah.
it's natural to be like that.
He's trying to say that it's kind of like a disorganized town hall, and that he wants to let these people come on and have free speech.
Is that important? Is this a good thing for free speech or a bad thing for free speech? What do you think?
I think that in a certain way about it, there should be free speech, but I also think that it can be very dangerous if people are given a platform where they can promote hate.
I mean, it's tough to figure out where to draw the line.
It's up for individuals to hear whatever information they want to hear and make their own decisions. Especially if we're adults. We should make our own decisions, hear whatever the hell we want to hear, and decide from that. Why do we need everything filtered? That's what a kid needs. Kids need their information filtered. Adults, why are you allowing for somebody to filter everything through to you like you are still a child? Unless, in this woman's case, she's indicating that she wants to be treated like a child.
I have no idea what he would do if he were able to take the reins, but I love that it's keeping them on their toes.
There you go. Okay, big tech on their toes.
Yeah,
it's freedom of speech. Both listen to both sides of it.
Yeah.
Right now we're one-sided. Yeah,
Do you think they're favoring the left? Like Twitter?
What do you think? Yeah.
Do you think that's an issue on the platform?
And I want to push back against that. They're favoring neoliberals. They're not favoring the left, because when I blast certain politicians, I get in trouble for that. When I want to criticize Pfizer, I get in trouble for that. When I want to criticize Biden or say certain things, I get in trouble for that. So it's not fair blanket fairness for the left. The people that they're thinking are left are not left. They're neoliberals. Let's get that straight.
Media?
I think it's a huge issue. If he gets it, I hope that his main focus is opening up the floodgates. Let's stop canceling people for opinions you may not agree with. Free speech shouldn't die.
That's my point. Let's stop canceling people. Let's stop promoting, like for instance, when the whole Dave Chappelle thing was going on, they were promoting all of those tweets, even though one of the main ladies who was involved with it had a whole history of saying a whole bunch of horrible shit her own self, a lot of racist shit that she said, but because she's going against somebody who's against trans rights, then it's all right to go and censor him. And it's what we notice often is it all depends on who's getting censored. If it turned around and they say, you know what, because of this whole Hunter Biden stuff, then Biden should be censored and taken off Twitter, all of these people will have a meltdown.
Not only that, Marcus. Oh,
no, go ahead.
Just from personal experience, it may not have to do with free speech, but I had a post taken down from a year ago that I made when it was a post of some lynchings in Mississippi. the strange fruit from the.
Mm-hmm.
And I got it. It said I violated the rights. But how did I violate rights when this was allowed to be posted on there anyway?
Mm-hmm.
And I have such a small following, and I'm not really active on Instagram. So to them to go and censor a thing from a year ago when I was when I was raising awareness to things that was going on, that is allowed to happen. You think like that still won't happen, whether Elon Musk is going to own it or not? What did someone say in the comments? I think they say he's going to authenticate us with Face ID.
Well, I mean, it's a lot of. For this portion, we're just dealing with the whole censorship thing. But there's other reasons why I think people should be concerned or nervous about Elon Musk, but these ain't the reasons. These are I got
This
a
one
little.
isn't it. Yeah,
These
exactly.
aren't the reasons. How about that? Is that better? All right, let's hear a little bit more of this.
And you have your video, I have my Twitter account. Anybody can go see
He has a
anything.
Twitter
I
account?
think it's the most important time to realize the most important thing is to let people speak that you don't like and disagree with, because then everybody has their fair share. And I think that if Elon gets us to that point, then I'm all behind it. But
the people currently have a system in place, so now we're just gonna just because it's something different or from a multi-billionaire and trusted, so to speak.
For
now
sure, a lot of it's on trust. A lot of it's trust there for sure. I think a lot of people kind of have the perspective of, hey, things are bad. Let's give him a chance.
Exactly.
To be fair, he has had a history of being actually pretty good for standing up for free speech for all Americans. And I think that's what's led a lot of people to believe him.
Exactly.
A lot of people are making the arguments when it comes to the banning of Donald Trump on Twitter or suspension of the Babylon Bee, which is a satire site. But they keep on people like Iran's supreme leader, Cuba's dictator.
He's not a dictator, dumbass.
Do you guys think there's inconsistencies with censorship on the platform?
Well, I don't think there's equivalence. I mean, I don't think censoring the leader of Iran is the same thing as censoring, a candidate or a person who's representing some real human value or worthwhile cause. It's not the same. It's not equivalent.
Do you guys think Trump was a greater threat than them, the other individuals that are still on the platform?
I think for our country, Trump is the greatest threat that exists for our country.
You're a moron.
Still, yeah.
Is that something that needs to be fixed, or do you think that's reasonable that that's the case? What do you guys think?
I think it's one of those things that we're going to debate for a long time, because when you have humans try to demarcate, the lines of what's important to be in the public conversation versus what's, like you said, too dangerous. And then you have the algorithms also trying to make those decisions. Right. You have people getting shadow banned. You have all these things happening. And when you look at it, you take a step back, depending on how you're looking at it, what you see, it can look like it's very unfair. You can't really strike a balance, between, like you said, you can see this one group of people that's being, censored, and you see another group of people or an individual. They're doing the exact same thing, but it's a different message. And those, for whatever reason, they've been able to pass through.
Look at the political.
Exactly. I'll leave it there. On that point, you have any comments on that, Jay?
Vince Lawrence just said this dude is trying too hard to be nuanced. Yep, that's how I felt.
Well, I mean, he's a right winger, but he's trying not to come across as much as a right winger as he is. As it gets further in there, you can kind of hear his lean coming through. But I mean, I felt overall he did a decent job. I didn't want to press him too much. Anything else you'd like to say? All right, I got one more. Well, actually, one more major clip that I wanted to get into, and then one more one assertion. Two channels now. I know the two channels I'm going to bring up don't get along, but like I said before, it's more important about the information, correct? Over here, we care more about the information, and I'll take the heat for, the people who don't necessarily get along with each other. but I wanted to go into this clip from my brother and my buddy. This is another one you guys definitely need to go and check this clip out. This one is from Franco from Frank Analysis. This is from his interview that he just recently had Jason Burmis on. I think you all definitely should check this out.
Exactly, John. If you don't like it, don't watch it. It's this. It's like, do I watch a TV show on Netflix or Hulu if I don't watch it? Will I pay attention to an NFL game if I don't like the NFL? No. So nothing that goes on over there bothers me. And shout out to Franco for the clip.
Yeah, it's like saying, you know what? I'm not really fond of power walkers. I think it's a dumb sport. So I think it needs to go away. No, if people want to watch power walkers, then let them watch power walkers. But here, I guess I can even just start this from the beginning because Franco does a good job explaining some different things that maybe some of us haven't thought about as far as this. Is it just about censorship alone? That's the reason why I asked, is it better or worse? It might be better that he might free up, us from some of the shadow banning, some of the censorship, might get rid of some of these bot farms from people like Sally Albright and other DNC operatives. But what are the downsides? What are things that we need to be watching out and worried about? And Franco and Jason go into it. If you guys haven't seen this yet, it's right under an hour long. Please take the time to check this out because I won't have the time to show the whole entire thing, which I wish I could, and go through and comment all of it. But I'll show roughly maybe about 10 minutes or so. But here we go.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Frank Analysis. I am your host, Franco. We have a great show for you all today. We're trying to keep everybody's critical thinking skills up because we should always be aware about whenever there's things that are too good to be true, right? Someone that's advocating for free speech, an oligarch. Let's not forget how Elon Musk got to where he is, which we're going to dive into here. If you did forget, or if you're not really familiar with his come up. But here's the news. Twitter accepts Elon Musk's bid to buy the company. This is after he was kept advocating for free speech on the platform after a series of censorship, which you all should be familiar with at this point, with what happened during 2020, 2021, and in 2022 with the Rona stuff, with the Russia-Ukraine stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And he's purchasing the social media company for about $44 billion. This is today. This is brand new news happening. The New York Post reported on it. We can come back to this in a little bit. And here is my friend Charles from the Lone Wolf podcast saying that, I got to say, it kind of amazes me how many people are just so ready to trust Elon Musk just because of this Twitter stuff. A billionaire who has talked about microchipping humans. I learned long ago not just trust people.
And that's the key point. Talk about the microchipping humans. For those who don't remember, I've talked about this numerous times about microchipping. Of course, I went into it more in depth in Hebrew apologetics. And for those interested, check out the episode called Mark of the Beast. I go into it there, but I've also talked about it 2 or 3 times on the Political Matrix. Literally, I heard not that long ago that they are actually having chipping parties in Georgia. And then I just recently heard out of the article in Forbes that they are starting to accept microchip payments in Texas. Odd place to start it, of course, but I'm pretty sure it's probably in the Austin area, which has been gentrified by mostly Californians. But yes, microchipping is starting to become a thing in the US. And so start talking more about this cashless society and all this stuff. A lot of this stuff which happened during the shutdown and the pandemic, we need to keep our eyes on this. And for those who have spiritual eyes, you guys know what this is all leading to. So keep that in mind, and we'll go back into the clip.
Because they're the enemy of your enemy. And then I said, in this case, he's the friend of our enemy. And we're going to get into that with our guest today. And I'm also going to ask him about some responses I got to this tweet here. When I said people are really out here thinking an oligarch, Elon Musk, is going to save their free speech. So I have Jason Burmis here. What is going on, brother? Thank you very much. You've been covering Elon Musk a lot on your channel for years now. So it's great to have you back on the show. How are you? And what are your thoughts on all this?
I am well, and let me say out of the gates, all hail Lord Elon Musk, savior of the universe, and all around fantastic guy that could have no ulterior motives, especially when so many very, very good people gain so much power and wealth during COVID-19.
And shout out to Shadowban too. Shadowban was actually in that thread also, and he is in the chat. And he want to read that comment. And he just said, "Man, I did not know that, brother." Said it's actually starting here too, dog. Right in Albuquerque. That's creepy to me. My uncle was after he retired from the Air Force. He went out to work out there in Albuquerque. So man, that's creepy. Be careful. You all know it all starts off voluntarily at first, and then it's not voluntary. Man, can you double dip the chip? That's a good one. That's a good one, Nachos.
84, and guess what, my friend? The number one guy who did that was Elon Musk. Now, let me put that into perspective for everybody. Let's just scroll down a bit. Other really great guys like Jeff Bezos didn't do as well as Elon Musk. Bill Gates, who we all know and love, didn't do as well as Elon Musk, and neither did Warren Buffett. Bill Gates and Warren Buffett, of course, part of the good guy club, who are very concerned about population control, along with Ted Turner, George Soros, Michael Bloomberg, and of course, Oprah Winfrey. And let's not forget Larry Page and Sergey Google Brin. Those people, those great, great people. But Musk did better than them. Now, everybody needs to take a real big step back and understand what that means, my friend. That means that while really good people like small businessmen, mid-sized businesses, and other competitors around the world were literally shut down, eviscerated, and put out of business, good old Elon didn't do just fine. He increased his wealth by 600%. Well, how does good old Elon make his money? Is it Dogecoin? Is he a Dogecoin trillionaire? Like, are we in fantasy world? Is everybody you know, Franco, especially during the hard hit COVID times, they go out and buy a Tesla? Sure do see a lot of Tesla charging stations popping up.
Mm-hmm.
Why is that? Well, that's because this man is nothing more than a front man for a transhumanist agenda on behalf of DARPA technology. And if you have any doubt about that, you will learn today that is where his fortune comes from. SpaceX isn't taking you or anybody else to Mars or the moon. That's fantasy land. See, the hype for NASA, which partnered with SpaceX, which, by the way, NASA is only 20% of what they do is space exploration. Let me say that again.
Yeah, hold on.
Only 20% of what NASA does is space exploration.
Mm-hmm.
Look, so it's funny. I click on Twitter for 2 seconds. The first comment I see is Elon Musk. Next, I'm buying Coca-Cola to put the cocaine back in.
Is that a real tweet?
I swear.
Wow. So that means drug testing needs to go out the window completely then. Because all you got to do is say, hey, I had a Coke. Wow. And Jason said something in there. He talked about the PayPal, right? We're going to put a button in that real quick. And shout out to Doom and Gloom headquarters. They give a little bit of extra context into says, Marcus, are you going to discuss Elon on your South Africa? You damn right I'm going to discuss Elon on that episode. He seems to be more dangerous than Charlize Theron and not as good looking. Yeah. Well, she's pretty dangerous in what's that, Monster. But yeah, we definitely going to talk about Elon, and we're going to talk about Peter Thiel. So that's why I want to stop this for a moment, and I want to share this clip from Sebs and Ali. They and actually myself and Cy Lawson will be doing an interview on there. I gotta remember to ask them, you know, if it's all right if I bring my reader over, Fuzz the Frame, bring him over so he can help me. But listen to this. You know how he talked about PayPal? Let's listen to just a little bit of this real quick. And I mean, all you got to do is listen to this first couple of minutes, but I do recommend watching the whole 25 minutes, even if there's people out there who may not be on the same page with the individuals in here, Sebs, Ali, and Anthony. Listen to their content at least, because they are dropping some good information. And unless you already know all this information, then fine. But if you don't know this information that they're talking about here, you probably should at least give it a good listen. There's a lot that we can learn from each other.
So I'll get through this part. It's not that long.
Okay.
But I just wanted to kind of, I'm sure most people already, I'm sure that most people already know this already, but the, PayPal Mafia, which is basically, what's his name? Thiel,
Yeah,
Peter Thiel and his gang, right? Let's see. They're all a lot of the people that helped start PayPal are from South Africa.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, and there seems to be a mining connection with all of them. So I just kind of wanted to go over that real quick. And the connection is in South Africa, Namibia, and Zambia. So let's see. So Elon Musk, I think most people already know this, but his dad had emerald mines in Zambia, and while they were in South Africa, I think the way his dad has told the story, I think he says something like he flew into Zambia because they were on their way to they were on their way to Saudi Arabia, stopped in Zambia. His dad also flew planes. And then when they got there, they somehow met this guy who owned these emerald mines, and he offered to give him half of it if he would sell him his plane or something like that. Yeah, on the spot. I'm like, okay. So apparently that's how that happened. So yeah, so Elon Musk, his dad had South African, had emerald mines that he owned or half of in Zambia. Another person I wanted to point out is Roelof Botha.
Botha, yeah.
Yeah, Roelof Botha, who's another PayPal guy, and his grandfather was Pick Botha, and he was the Minister of Mineral and Energy in South Africa, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So, and then the third person that I wanted to point out is Peter Thiel's father, who had uranium mines in Namibia. So I just highlighted this from an article. It said they spent time in Johannesburg in South Africa and in Southwest Africa, present-day Namibia, where Klaus, that's Peter's dad, worked on construction of a uranium mine. And this article goes on to say that there is a horrifying fact, according to a 1992 report by Shafkin Sites, that at the uranium mine, white employees handed out weekly pay to black migrant workers from behind glass, apparently to avoid exposure to radiation. The workers, the report claimed, were dying like flies.
Jesus.
Yeah. So, and this is a report that I found from, I think this was 2010, but I think it was written in 1997, and they were saying how unexpected rates of chromosal chromosomal instabilities and alterations of hormone levels in Namibian uranium miners. So, and Thiel's name is on this report. So.
Yeah. So, I mean, you guys get the gist of it. So if you guys want to hear more about that and hear more about like the South African ties, which led to this PayPal money, which led on to, you know, all of the different stuff that Elon Musk is into now, you know, that there's some more of those ties. So a lot of people just think, oh, it's straight PayPal. No, it started off with these mines first. Started off with these mines and basically exploiting workers. And so you've got to always keep all that stuff in mind. And if you think about it, uranium and start talking about emeralds, and I'm pretty sure there was all kind of other natural resources and minerals. All of this stuff goes into a lot of technology, which is used in Elon Musk's technology and stuff like that in R&D departments. So keep all of that shit in mind. But here, I got a little bit more of that. Yes, the exploitation of African continent continues, and it continues, especially with this man, which everybody thinks is bringing some kind of freedom. Which, oh yeah, by the way, he's working on a brain chip. I know Pasta talked about how they might talk about some kind of verification process to make sure humans are on the platform. So I would just say, be careful about this man, Elon Musk. Yeah, they have the, oh, well, we do feel like these people are kind of stripping away, you know, our rights to speak. But gotta make sure that even if one comes in who we think's there to help us,
they're not.
Always pay attention to these people's motives. None of these people are our friends, and none of these people are here to help us. So I'll let Jason continue a little bit more.
And space warfare has been going on since the 80s. We're getting to get into all of it. All right. What are they actually doing? What is that partnership? Well, you get to see people go 60,000 feet up in the air like they were doing in the 60s as part of the Oxcart program at Area 51, publicly disclosed and emphasized in Area 51 by Annie Jacobson. I encourage everybody to read it. So they're showing you technology that is 70 years old. And what is really going on is SpaceX is running military cargo, including military space satellites that are warfare satellites anywhere in the world in an hour, my friend. And wherever you'd like to begin, I'm willing to begin there. But I also want to put out there that not only does Musk have Neuralink under his belt, which you alluded to, which is very important to point out, and I'm glad that you did, but where did he make his scratchola in the beginning? Where'd old Musker do make his big old money? Oh, look, it's in PayPal with his good friend Peter Thiel, who's a steering member now of over a decade of the Bilderberg Group, involved in all sorts of technology and surveillance, was the technology advisor to the president last administration, and then just kind of abandoned him when there was any talk of election fraud, right? Weird how that happened. Remember, he's part of a steering member group that in 2018, one of the subjects was the post-truth world. And the other subjects at this time, remember 2018, populism in Europe crushed, Macron elected again. And it doesn't matter that rigged literally trends on Twitter right afterwards. We just have to accept it. The inequality challenge, a lot of talk about equity the last 4 years. The future of work, weird. That's changed a lot. Artificial.
Everyone. Thank you, Marcus. Everybody have a good night.
That time.
Hold
Free
on,
trade,
Jay.
U.S. world leadership. Russia. Huh.
Hold on. Yeah, and Jay needs to sign off. So make sure everybody, you know, I want to let you get your last couple of words in.
I just want to say, you know, stay diligent. I enjoy these weekdays, you know, the hilarious comment section. I enjoy this very much. And I just want to say thank you guys for coming out every night. You know, we've been a little off kilter, but we're trying to get back on track. So, you know, thank you. And Marcus, you know, we'll speak. I'll probably call you tomorrow.
Oh yeah. Definitely give me a call tomorrow before I start up I think definitely I'm gonna have a class tomorrow. I'm
Yeah,
going
so
into
if
the
anything,
survey.
we'll
Going
text
into
you.
the survey. So just text me during the day.
Well, all right, guys. Marcus, you have a good night. Everybody, take it easy.
All right, my brother. But yeah, let's get back into it. I'm just gonna show maybe about 2-3 more minutes.
Quantum computing, Saudi Arabia and Iran, okay, and the post-truth world. Those are all what they put on paper at this point. And, they haven't had a conference in the last couple of years. And Davos has kind of been the mouthpiece now for globalization that only a decade plus ago, when I started reporting on this, Franco, didn't exist. I was just a big conspiracy guy.
Wow. So a guy who got his upbringing with the assistance of the Pentagon and our state is all of a sudden going to allow free speech, and his technology is being used in the Russia-Ukraine situation right now. So you want to tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, isn't that the nuttiest thing? Because I know that you're doing great work out there, and others are doing great work on the left. Blumenthal does a lot. Greenwald does a lot. Even Jimmy Dore, they do a lot to question the narratives of warfare, and especially this Ukrainian versus Russia conflict, right? Like Russia's just the bad guy and they hate freedom and NATO doesn't exist, right? No one wants war. But, the cookie cutter good guy Zelensky freedom, the puppet actor we installed versus tyrant Putin is fiction, right? Now, previously, Elon Musk, since again, all of his money comes from the Defense Department. He's pushing Neuralink. He's putting up space satellites. He's in bed with NASA. He's subsidized via Tesla. So it's all military industrial complex money. Okay. He is on Twitter after a long time ago saying what? We will coup who we want to coup.
Right. Yeah.
Challenging Putin to combat, the single combat, throwing memes at him. Okay. And telling people he's going to put up Starlink as communication systems, okay, in Ukraine. Now think about that. They're knocking out communication systems. So just on its face, if you believe that Starlink is just this happy fun time thing, and it's not really a Trojan horse civilian system of the military industrial complex, which we'll show you, okay, you're fooling yourself. So as we scroll down, he actually, oh man, maybe it's in another article that I had out there. He actually gets into it with members of parliament back and forth. Why is this man goading for World War III? And again, I want to show everybody it was public knowledge. This is 1983 that the Defense Department was weaponizing space. They just told you it didn't work, and unicorns exist. Give me a break. Okay, it's fiction. Of course it worked. And as soon as it gets there, all of a sudden they're using Starlink for drone strikes. You have military personnel from the Ukrainian army posing with Starlink. Okay. It's admitted they're taking out Russian tanks with Starlink. And once again, SpaceX is moving any type of cargo for the military industrial complex around the world within an hour. That's what they're doing. Okay. Anybody can look into this stuff. And they talk.
So that's just a little bit of what I want to show you guys. Make sure to please go and check out Franco. And if you can, check him out on this Rockfin also. That way you can help it build up so that we can all have most of us can have an avenue to be able to get out of, this censorship that we deal with here on YouTube. So I don't know, what's some of your thoughts on some of the stuff that I've shared with you and giving you like all the different perspectives I can think of on this whole Elon Musk thing and him taking over Twitter. And I think some of these elites, it is just about, they're worried about that there's going to be pushback on them and now they can't just censor whoever the hell they want. But I worry more about some of the technological things which he might want to do, dealing with more not censorship, more what is it called? Surveillance. That's what I think we should always look into. Burmese always has the goods. Yes, Burmese always does have the goods. Kelly says thoughts we're screwed. Well, I always believe information is power. So if you know something is going on, you can at least have a better shot of trying to deal with it. But if you don't want to acknowledge what the truth and reality of things are, then you have no ways of dealing with anything. So just like these people who think, well, we can always do this, and I can always do that, and for instance, in this voting thing, well, if we just all get together and we band up some third party, then we can go in there. Okay, you get them in office, then what happens? None of their bills are going to go through. None of them are going to have power to get on any committees. So what can you do even if you get there? Not much, because the system is already captured. So Democratic Party's captured, Republican Party's captured, meaning the fact that they'll throw $1 million into not even a Senate race, not even a House race, not a state Senate, not a state House. We're talking about council, a council person. They'll throw $1 million into one of those races just to sway it in their favor. So if we can't see the level of capture that the system has, I mean, we already know the court system is gone. We already know they have the judges. We already know that they have the wealth and the money. So this mindset of thinking, well, we could just get the money out of the way. You can't get the money out of the way. It's there. It's like saying, you know what? If I can hold back the ocean, yeah, if you can hold back the ocean, you can do a lot, but you can't. And that's what people need to understand about the system. And the moment they can start pulling themselves out of the system and start looking for other means, other ways to do things, that's the only way you can actually have a chance in pushing back against any of this stuff. Like my partner and Ride Along Chris always says, you got to take care of you and yours. You got to take care of your family first and foremost. You got to make sure that when it gets to these points where this inflation starts going high and it starts being famines and different things like that, you're out. You're protected. People think these preppers are crazy. You're not going to be thinking they're crazy when you're struggling and they're sitting comfortable and good. This is not a game. John says, I think Elon's plans on using this to much more watch people. Exactly. Surveillance. And if they can surveil us, they can have more control over us. Kelly says, I think that Twitter will go the way of MySpace to Facebook thing. So Elon definitely has sinister plans. You're damn right. Every one of these billionaires have sinister plans. And what we don't think about is we still think even the most asshole version of us on what we would and would not do. We don't think that, sometimes when we watch these damn Bond villains in movies, that these people think like this. This is how these people operate. They literally feel like, well, instead of changing my lifestyle and flying, my personal jet just for me to decide that I want to fly from San Francisco to Paris just to eat in Paris. They don't want to change any of this kind of stuff. And so they don't care about climate change. They figure, well, if you look back to the pre-industrial era when there weren't as many people and they slaughtered off the natives to America, it helped reduce greenhouse emissions. So for them, it's an easy fix. Once they get technology up and running, the more and more technology that they have, the less and less they need us. And when they don't need us anymore, that's when they'll start looking at really cranking down on population control. So when you have literally, I can't remember which prince it was, but he literally said if he could come back as anything, he would come back as a plague so he can kill as many people as possible. If you think that he was just one loopy ass billionaire or royal family, and he's alone in his thinking. I mean, think about it. People like Margaret Sanger literally wanted to genocide, people. This is not a game. This is how these people think. All right. Have a good night. Their variant says sweet dreams until I see you on Saturday. I'm off to make bruschetta. Ooh, I love some good bruschetta. There are private jet advertisements on CNBC all the time. Somebody is living their best life. A lot of them are. Remember, I showed you guys those luxury bunkers. These people are perfectly fine with getting us into nuclear war because they feel like even if it happens, they're going to survive it. Be damned what happens to you guys. Prince Philip, thank you. Thank you, Chris. John says, they have us as slaves. I'm struggling getting my grown children to see what's coming. I send them links to information and shows, but they won't look. Think I'm crazy. This is a battle even at home. I know. And I'll tell you even what it says in the Bible. It says that, I know, Kelly, it's just going to be a quick one. I'll get it out. But paraphrasing, it says that, when coming into this truth and information, your biggest enemies are going to be those at home. It doesn't mean you're going to be fighting physically. It means that these are going to be the people that are going to be the most resistant to the information you have to bring out to them. And so that's just what we're looking at and facing in this reality. People are not going to believe it until it's too late. That's the reason why it leads to famines. That's the reason why it leads to shortages. Because when somebody tells you, "Hey, maybe you should start stocking up on canned goods and things like that," or maybe you should start growing your own fruits, vegetables, they're not going to catch it until it's too late, and they're running around just like you see on shows like The Walking Dead, the last minute running around scavenging because they did not prepare themselves. Somebody told me a long time, they stay ready so they don't have to get ready. And when shit hits the fan, you don't want to be one of those people who still need to get ready. So that's all I have to say. Variant said, I'll read these last couple comments. And they already have the next social media platform ready to go currently. Kelly, currently, they're putting them on a list of coming sites to spark interest. I think what's coming is it's just going to be more control. You do X, and I honestly believe like those passports and stuff, which they were doing with COVID, all of that is to like what I tell you in these movies and shows is predictive programming. It's you seeing it so you can get used to it, even if it's horrendous, to get you prepared for it. I mean, you guys remember the old movie Solvent Green, and then they come out with Beyond Meat. This is all predictive programming. Demolition Man, remember they thaw him out and he has a thing in his hand? It controls how he gets in and out of his apartment and all those things like that. This is all predictive programming. It's all to get you prepared for what the hell's going on. Thank you, John. Thank you for being here. Thank you all for being here. Y'all don't have to be here. Y'all could be anywhere else, but you decided to spend some time with me and Jay, and I appreciate that and love all of y'all. Chris says, at John Kemper, don't feel bad. It happens to us all. I'm lucky though. I brainwashed my son Jalen. That's why he's co-host with me. I mean, yeah, he got a good head on his shoulders, and he sees this stuff coming, just like I do. Varian says, I'm still here, y'all. I said it fire when I go in my, when you go in my A. Marcus, is that a GIMP behind the GIMP? No, that is. I can't remember where I was. I took a picture of this. It was in. I'm blanking on where it is. It's on Sundays, I believe. It's an area near Baldwin Hills, out here in the LA area, and I just thought that it was pretty interesting. It's showing the sun, it's showing the galaxy, and kind of like in thought. And so I just thought it was a good image to clip and use. Got a couple other ones here to show you. I'll switch up a couple backgrounds, show you some of the other ones that I think about using occasionally. which I might use for some other shows. But I'm almost done. I'm almost done. Here's one that I use occasionally. This one is some artwork which I saw when I was in Jacksonville. Couple of pictures I've taken here out around LA. It's another one. Oh, I got a bunch more in here, but yeah, that is all I have. I guess I'll finish out with my one from KC. Got Union Station there in the background. But you know they sell the I should have knew it. Kelly, you be on that mess. But yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up here. Thank you all for tuning in with me. Should be back tomorrow night on my other channel, Hebrew Apologetics, Marcus Cage. And I got to change that name eventually, but I'm still working on changing the name to add Fuzz in there. Fuzz does an excellent job reading along with me. I could go for a background of some, yeah, I could go for some KC barbecue too. If you guys ever get the chance to go to Kansas City, I say just keep one name in mind, Gates. Go to Gates. In fact, if you, well, that's right. They got the one near my grandmother's house burned down. That's one we used to go to all the time. Dang, on the Kansas side. Probably, I think it's on Truce in KC Mo. Look for Gates Barbecue. And if you're feeling really special that night, go and get the presidential platter. When Bill Clinton came through there, he liked it so much that he ordered all this different stuff, and so, or he wanted a bunch of different stuff, so they made a platter specifically for him. Fuck Bill Clinton, but I am happy about that platter. It's so much good shit on there. Beef ribs, brisket, all that. I mean, let me get off here. I'm already hungry. So with that said, thank you all for joining me. You know, everybody that came out, much love to all of y'all. Make sure y'all be safe. For those who are football fans, if you decide to go and watch the draft and don't tune in tomorrow, it is okay as long as you guys come back and check the replays just like this. As long as you check the replay, it's all good. That said, this has been Talk of the Ages. I'm your host, Marcus Young Morpheus Cage, and my young co-host Jalen. Much shout out to him. Yes, I will see you all Saturday too. For those who tuned in, for those who only have been following me on this channel and don't even know that I run another channel, hopefully you do. But if you don't, my other channel is The Political Matrix. I am on with my co-host, Mr. Cy Lawson. If you see him in the chat, Mr. Laws 456. And I'm working on trying to get us a guest. Not sure who's going to be yet, but you know, keep an eye out for that guest. Hey Wesley, yeah, sorry you're late, but I definitely, you might want to run this one back. I think it was a pretty good episode. But thank you all for tuning in, and guys, have a good one. For those who are religious, stay blessed.